I met her when we were 16. Back then, I didn't think in terms of forever. I wasn't planning a future, a wedding, kids, or growing old side by side. I was just a teenager who felt comfortable around one person in a way I'd never felt before. And somehow, that comfort never left. From 16 to 22, we grew up together. High school exams, first real arguments, late night calls, dreams that felt enormous and fragile at the same time. We didn't just date, we became who we were together. People say young love doesn't last. Ours did, until it didn't. We broke up. Not because of cheating, not because of betrayal, not because we stopped caring. Life simply pulled us in different directions, and neither of us knew how to fight that yet. We told ourselves it was for the best, that we needed space, that love alone wasn't enough. For a while, we lived separate lives. But even then, she never really left my mind. When we found our way back to each other at 25, it felt almost unreal. Like life had given us a second chance. One most people never get. This time we were older, wiser, more careful. We moved in together, built routines, shared groceries, quiet mornings, tired evenings, inside jokes no one else understood. From the outside, we looked solid, safe, certain. And I believed we were. What I didn't realize was that while I felt secure, she was starting to feel invisible. I thought love meant staying. She needed more than that. I thought time was on our side. She was running out of patience. And I had no idea that the woman I loved was already preparing herself for a life without me. Looking back now, the signs were everywhere. She was still there, physically. She still asked me how my day went. Still listened when I talked. Still laughed at my jokes. But something had shifted. At the time, I told myself it was normal. This is what long relationships turn into, right? Comfort, routine, calm. I didn't notice that her questions were starting to sound careful, that she stopped talking about the future unless I brought it up first, that her warmth was still there, but it felt like she was giving more than she was receiving. She tried to talk to me, not directly, not dramatically, just little openings. Where do you see us in a few years? Do you ever think about getting married? Are you happy with how things are? And every time I answered without really answering. I'm here, aren't I? Why rush? We're good as we are. To me, those were reassuring words. To her, they sounded like indifference. What hurts the most is this. I wasn't avoiding marriage because I didn't want her. I was avoiding it because I was comfortable. And comfort made me lazy. I thought love was something that could just exist without being reaffirmed. I thought she knew how I felt, even if I didn't say it. Meanwhile, she started pulling back. She spent more time with friends, started focusing on herself, worked out more, found hobbies that didn't include me. I saw it, but I misunderstood it. I thought she was becoming independent. I didn't realize she was preparing herself to leave. In her mind, she was already grieving us. In mine, nothing was wrong. The scariest part? I truly believed I had all the time in the world. I had no idea she had already chosen a date to walk away. That day started like any other. No dramatic music, no warning signs, no feeling that my entire life was about to split in two. She left for a class in the evening. Painting, I think. I remember watching her grab her bag and thinking how normal everything felt. Safe, predictable. But something had been bothering me for weeks. I could feel the distance now. Not loud, not angry, just quiet. The kind of quiet that scares you once you finally notice it. I had been thinking a lot about us, about how long we'd been together, about the fact that I could picture my future clearly, and she was always in it. And then it hit me. What if I was assuming she'd always be there? What if my silence had already pushed her too far? I didn't know it yet, but she had already decided. Friday was going to be the end. When she came home that night, I didn't ease into it. I didn't plan a speech. I didn't wait for the right moment. I just asked, "Will you marry me?" The look on her face still haunts me. Shock, fear, And something else I wasn't prepared for. She said no. Not gently, not angrily, just no. My chest went hollow. I couldn't breathe. I told her I needed air and stepped outside, shaking, lighting a cigarette with hands that wouldn't stop trembling. In that moment, I thought I had already lost her. When I came back inside, she was sitting on the couch, pale, barely holding herself together. She told me she felt sick. And then the truth spilled out. She had been preparing to leave me. She was tired of waiting. Tired of feeling like an option instead of a choice. And suddenly everything made sense. I told her the truth too. That I knew things were bad. That I was scared. That I had waited too long. In my words, crude, panicked, honest, I told her I had to shit or get off the pot. Because I knew if I didn't ask that night, she'd be gone. That night wasn't romantic. There were no candles, no tears of joy, no laughter or champagne. There was frustration, confession, anger that had been quietly piling up for months. She told me she felt stupid for wanting marriage so badly, that she had imagined a proposal 100 times, and now the real one felt wrong, forced, late. She said she felt like I only asked because I was afraid of being alone. That one hurt, because I couldn't fully deny it. Yes, I was afraid to lose her. But I was also afraid of facing how long I had taken her love for granted. I told her I wasn't stalling because I didn't want her. I was stalling because commitment felt permanent. And permanence scared me more than I wanted to admit. She told me she had already started letting go, that she loved me, but didn't trust me anymore to choose her without pressure. At some point, the anger burned itself out. What was left was exhaustion. Two people sitting in the wreckage of a relationship that hadn't ended, but almost did. She asked me a question I'll never forget. If I hadn't been ready to leave, would you have ever asked? I didn't have a clean answer, and maybe that honesty mattered more than a perfect one. After a long silence, she said yes. Not because everything was fixed, not because it suddenly felt magical. She said yes because, despite everything, she still believed in us. We were engaged. But it didn't feel like a victory. It felt like survival. The days after the proposal were strange. Everyone was excited, smiling, asking questions, wanting details. How did he propose? Was it romantic? Did you cry? And every time I saw her hesitate, because the truth didn't sound pretty. The truth was messy. It was fear and timing and almost walking away. It was a no before a yes. And I hated myself for that. I realized something important then. Love isn't proven by asking. It's proven by showing up consistently, long before the question is ever asked. I had waited until the very last moment. And even though she chose me, I had shaken her trust. She wondered if I proposed because I truly wanted marriage, or because I panicked when I felt her slipping away. And the hardest part? Both things were true. I wanted her, and I was terrified of losing her. What saved us wasn't pretending our story was perfect. It was admitting it wasn't. We stopped trying to turn it into a movie scene and started treating it like real life, with therapy, uncomfortable conversations, and rebuilding what had cracked. She didn't fall back in love overnight, and I didn't deserve instant forgiveness. But every day I chose her on purpose, not out of fear, not out of habit, but with intention. And she chose to believe that love doesn't have to arrive perfectly to be real. So when people ask how I propose now, we smile and say, it wasn't perfect, but it was honest. Because sometimes the most meaningful love stories aren't the ones that look beautiful. They're the ones that survive the truth.